Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another, I hope it to be actually exhilarating discussion today. Another Minecraft discussion. You know, we talk about all things well-being and becoming the boss of our brain. And when we talk about all things well-being, we also have to talk about what can get in the way of our well-being. So we're going to talk about a big one today. So my name is Kimberly Quinn, and today we're going to entertain a discussion on when is a child not a child. And I have to tell you how excited, if you can't tell my enthusiasm, I've actually been waiting for this for our in-between semester break so I can give it my full attention. So we are going to talk about when is a child not a child. So we are talking about the answer, which is when a child grows up in an addicted home. And so this is going to be one of it. I'm not going to guess 7, let's just say a week. So we're going to talk about adult children of alcoholics and why we do the things we do. And so, you know my story. I'm the proud prodigy of 2 alcoholic parents, one in recovery, one not so much. In my home, there was both emotional and physical abuse and sexual abuse from outside of my home. But in my home I grew up in, emotional and physical abuse. And we're going to talk about, you know, why, you know, we felt so different as kids. I remember walking around. I'm going to leave the ADHD aside till later because there's overlap. Walking around just feeling so different from the other kids. I mean, before I had a way to put language on it or anything, I just felt like there were all the other kids at school and in the neighborhood and me. And I didn't know why. I also didn't know what normal was. I didn't, you know, think about little kids. They're in their own little bubble at home, you know, especially when you're, you know, in elementary school. All you really, you know, we're very sheltered in elementary school as far as what we're exposed to. You know, we see our own parents and siblings and maybe grandma, maybe a friend right next to us or something, but we only got this, so we think that's normal. We think that's normal. Also, we often grow up, and all these may not fit for all of you, but they're gonna, more than likely, if you grow up in an addicted home, you're gonna really have some enlightened moments here. We often take ourselves way too seriously, which leads into our difficulty having fun. And anyone who's watching this who knows me well, they're like, are you kidding me? She's playful, she owns a remote control fart machine. Yeah, I do, and I'm skiing and I'm playing with Giovanni the golden retriever. I had loads of fun with the kids and everything. That's because we'll get to that later too, because it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Though as a kid, it was tougher. We often take ourselves too seriously. We said that, which leads into we often judge ourselves mercilessly. ACOAs we can be so hard on ourselves, and that was my story for a decade and a half, maybe 2. I'm talking about like after 18, like deep. Let's just say deep into my 30s, even working on it, even while aware of it and working on it. We can also be. We tend to be tremendously loyal, which also leads into professions we seek out. We'll get to that later too. And I'm a big fan of loyalty. It's actually my number 1, right up there with honesty. Loyalty and honesty are my 2 big ones for anybody I have a relationship with. They don't have those 2 boxes checked, like bye-bye. And that said, the loyalty thing, because we grow up blindly being loyal, because we're kind of conditioned for that in a dysfunctional, addicted home, we often are loyal to people who are undeserving of our loyalty. We'll just say it that way. And I've been working through that to, like, you know, I'm still working on that, honestly, because I'm extremely loyal. And that's a good thing. That's like, again, that's my number 1 with honesty. But some people just don't deserve it, and we don't know how to separate that. We also, sometimes often, not just sometimes, we often, ACOAs, we have this, like, walk around with like a hole, like an emptiness that we tend to really need and seek out external approval constantly, which is the essence of codependent behavior with a lot of other stuff. We'll also get to that. This is just a digestible little get excited intro here. Impulsivity is another one, also, which lumps with ADHD. We'll get to that later, how there can be overlap, doesn't have to be. We talked about the loyalty. And then shame, the biggie, because shame is the foundation. If the rest of the addictive family is like, you know, the walls, the windows, the roof, the foundation is shame. Shame is just even stronger than Miracle Grow. It's just, oh my gosh. So remember that guilt says I made a mistake, shame says I am the mistake. And anyone who grew up in an addicted family has not escaped this most toxic emotion a human being can feel. And the reason you can't escape it is because it's so toxic, so excruciating to feel, that a very Freudian defense mechanism, no one's, I'm not getting into Freud, it's like not really a follower or anything, but he was spot on correct that defense mechanisms are unconscious. So this fits here so well because shame is so incredibly excruciating that addicted parents sort of toss that onto their kids, that feeling of feeling defective and flawed, damaged goods, not enough. Just throw that at their kids like a hot potato without even knowing they're doing it. So we're going to get into all of this. And the plan here is to leave you in suspense. These will be digestible little segments because this is intense stuff. I'm going to plan for about a week, all different things. And also I want to do a big shout out to Janet Geringer-Whititz and Claudia Black, because I've been doing a ton of work on this stuff since I was like 18 at St. Mike's when I was in an ACOA group. And they were two pioneers in this field way back in the 80s. And so a lot of my knowledge base has some of the bricks are from both of these amazing women. So there you go. All right, so suspense, ACOAs, when is a child not a child? What is normal? Why am I seeking external approval? Why am I chasing down these unhealthy relationships? Come find out in the next series to follow. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.